All right.
Good morning.
11 is over.
Good morning. Good morning. First of all, I want to apologize because time is important, and having people wait is not cool. But it was one of these mornings where some things happened that I don't know, is the universe saying we're gonna have so much fun in this show that it wants to stop it. So there's a couple things that happened. I've been in an accident, you guys know, for people that know me, and I'm driving my son's car. And of course, we have a 23-year-old that doesn't put gas in his car. So I had to stop and put gas in the car. And then I don't have my card with me. Hello? And then I have a angel that said, okay, I give you $5 here to put a little bit of gas to get me here. Can you believe that? So more than anything, I want to apologize to Chris and to you ladies. Sorry about I'm trying. Chris, no, I'm trying to get here on time, even early. So I apologize. I want to thank you guys, ladies, for sitting here with us today. Siembra, beautiful, beautiful morning in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest. We have a super special guest. And more than anything, I want to just jump in it because I got here late. So let's just get into it. I have my co-host, Carla Applin, that she's sitting from home. Maybe I should have just sat from home. Just put my PJs and sit home and do this show, right?
No peaches, though.
No peaches. Okay. And then we have Miss Doris Hughes Green. She's sitting with us today, and she has her queen wave, or you know. And we're gonna jump in. We wanted to talk about other things, but really, it's kind of we don't have the time to. And you have a very interesting story, an important story that I want to just jump into it. So Doris, tell us a little bit. How do you get here in the Pacific Northwest? Because I like to tell people, ask them. That's the first question I like to ask them, because nobody looks at the map, at the United States map, and say, I want to come to Washington State. A lot of people don't even know that there is a state that is named Washington. They think about Washington, D.C. So how do you get here?
Okay, hey everybody, I am Doris Hughes Green. Of course, you probably know who I am, VTRadioUniversal.com. Yes, I've been here for 41 years, and I came from I don't know if I want to say the great state of Mississippi. It's going to be great because when I get up in there and run some fire through it and change mindsets, it would be the great state of Mississippi. Yes, I came from Mississippi 41 years ago. And thanks to one of my sisters who was married to a gentleman who was in the Air Force. And that's how I got here. She brought me out here on the bus, a Greyhound bus. All I had was a bag of fried chicken. And I thought that chicken would get me through the whole trip, and I didn't realize I ate that chicken by the time I was in Texas. I was in Texas for a whole day, maybe 2 days. So, yes, I am proud to be here in the great Pacific Northwest. And now that I am a publishing author, I realized when I went back into my history, praise God, he showed me my destiny. And Tacoma is the city of destiny. Did y'all know that?
Yes.
Absolutely. So this was part of God's plan to get me out of Mississippi, to bring me here for my destiny. And I'm living it right today. I am glad that I made the choice to leave Mississippi, because, you know, sometimes when you are in a different state of mind and when you want to go back and look at the things the way they were, and if you would have not made this change, you have to wonder, where would I have been if I would never left Mississippi.
Yes.
But we would never know because it was part of God's plan.
Yes.
Let me hear. And guys, I am so happy that I listened to the voice of God.
Yes. So now you got here you got from Mississippi here to Washington State, and let me know what it is happened after that. You got here, right? You stay with your sister, and then
got a job right away, went in Sears, just like that.
Yes, tell me a little story about Sears.
Tell you the Sears story. Everybody say, Doris, you tell stories so good. Let me tell you the Sears story. Now I got here. I went downtown on Market Street. I don't know if you know about that, Yaz, because that's where Sears used to be. And they had a position in their restaurant. So I go in and interview, because when you first move here, you take any job you can get your hands on.
Yes.
I went in and that lady interviewed me. She said, I'm not putting you in no restaurant, Doris. You are going on the sales floor. She saw something in my personality.
Yes.
And I was willing to scrub the floors if I had to, because I just moved here and needed work. But she saw something in me. And she put me on the sales floor, and I have been in sales for the rest of my life, running my mouth.
I just want to add that what she says is very, very, very important and very relatable to all of us. We come from other places, other states, and when we get here or wherever we go, we have to find a way. And maybe it's unexpected. Maybe it's something that you thought that you weren't gonna do. But all of a sudden, this lady saw that power, internal power in you. So it's very important to find people that can stir you and is willing to point you in the right direction as well.
And you know what, Carla? That is nobody but God doing all of that orchestration. Yes. You, Yazmin, all of us. This is all for a reason. And if we stick together, the reason is going to flourish. We got lots more that we are getting ready to see, guys.
And sometimes we cannot see what other people see in us.
Exactly.
Because she saw in you something that you probably didn't know you had. Now I want to go back to Mississippi. Mm-hmm. I want to go back to your mom and your dad. I want to go back to your sisters and what you used to how do you grow up in Mississippi? I want you to tell me that story about you going into the state. You supposed to sing or something like that. That is so funny. And it is in your book. We're going to talk about your book in a minute. But tell me a little bit about Mississippi. What it is you and how much brothers and sisters you had, and what it is you used to do in Mississippi. And you are the youngest of seven. You were number seven.
Seven girls. Mm-hmm. 7 girls. My father had 2 sons by previous marriages. Mm-hmm. So I do have 2 half brothers. One has perished, but one is still alive on my dad's side. Now there are 5 sisters. One died in the middle before I was born, but I am number 7. And today is the 7th of November. 7 is a powerful number in the eyes of God. That's why I'm so special, y'all. But I just want to say, you guys are special too. Everybody is special, but God put me here to tell all of you, we all are special.
Yes.
But yeah, there is something. In Mississippi, I came up in the country. We lived on the white man's place. I used to have to hear my mama call this man Mr. Carroll. When I grew up, I said, I ain't calling him no Mr. Nothing. I'm going to call him by his first name. But then I broke down and was respectful, okay? And went ahead and just addressed him by the way that the people addressed it. Because really, we lived on a plantation. Mm-hmm. We were slaves, and I didn't know that until I went to a counselor, and he said, Doris, you were a slave. I said, what? And then I got to thinking, you know what? I was kind of brought up as a slave. I lived on the white man's property. My father was a sharecropper. We all had to go and help with the work. Of course, I didn't get to do much. I'm the baby. The baby kind of gets out of everything. And then my sisters at the time, nobody really liked me. They gave me nothing but bad time. They used to call me names, pick on me and everything. Oh, get out of here. You know, they did, but they love me to death now. Because I'm getting ready to bless them to the end of the world, you know. They love me now. They call me sweetie everything. But yeah, Yazmin, you want to hear about the story about when I was 6 years old. I started school at 5. Now, what 5-year-old going to be catching the bus these days? They didn't have kindergarten and all that when I was coming up. So I started school at 5, and I was in a school play. But by that time, I had turned 6 years old. We were on our way to the play, and the bus broke down on the side of the road because I lived in the country. Yeah, it took about a half an hour to get to school on the bus. The bus broke down, and they had to get another bus to come and take us on to the school play that evening. Well, I get there, and the play done started, y'all. And I was the first one hopped off the bus. I mean, I was booking down the hall. And I run through the door, and the auditorium is full of people. I ain't thought about them. I was just in a hurry to get in the play, and I ran and jumped on the stage where everybody was performing. This little girl, do you know what a stage looked like in a gymnasium? They all are made the same. I leaped that stage and got up there and started doing my little skit like everybody else. And then I looked over to the side and I saw the door that I should have came through, but somehow my mind did not think about going through no doors. Now, this is a kid now, 6 years old. I just ran and jumped on that stage, and I realized from that was a premonition that one day, Doris, you are going to be on stage and you will be speaking to lots of people. But all I can remember was the audience just done fell out. Everybody laughing. That's killing themselves laughing. It didn't bother me at all. I just jumped right in there in my spot where I was supposed to be and started doing my little act. So yeah, that was part of my story as a little girl. That must have told you a lot about my personality. My personality is something that God has instilled in me. So a lot of times you get to learn about yourself when you go back and look at your past. So that is one thing I really want people to start doing. Reflect on where you came from and your life experiences. When you do that, don't you know God shows up and show you your whole, why you're here and why you should be doing what we are doing today, ladies. And I hope somebody out there is listening, that they will get this deep inside of them and it will inspire them to start speaking. Speaking.
So you got here to Tacoma from Mississippi with your sister here. You got a job at Sears. You're working at Sears. And now let's go into your son and your husband. You got married to Carlos' dad. Carlos is Doris' son. So tell us a little bit about that part of your life.
Yes, I met Sonny in Mississippi. I left Jackson, Mississippi, because I went to college when I graduated with no education, y'all. But I was like this. All my friends were going to college, the smart one. I'm like, well, y'all ain't leaving me behind. I'm going too. So I went to college, got in there and didn't know nothing because I didn't get an education coming up through school. Actually, I'm going to tell you the truth. I was in remedial classes. Y'all know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what that is? Okay, I went through remedial
But
English.
Doris, explain to the audience, the people that are listening, what is remedial?
Okay, remedial is something that people pick you out and they say you kind of slow. You can't learn. So they put you in a class with the special people. And actually, they didn't teach me the basic. They had a box on it that said SRA, and it was cars in the box, and we learned from these cars. It was crazy. I didn't learn anything. So really, I used to sit in the window and daydream. And girl, y'all better get to daydreaming. You know, I want to tell you, Barbara Corcoran, she plays on Shark Tank. Billionaire. Guess what she ended up? Same class.
Wow.
Same class. So my point is don't, just because people think you are stupid and you don't know nothing, the devil is a lie. We all are smart. And we need to let people know that don't think that you are not smart enough to become somebody because you didn't get the proper education. So yes, that's what Remedia is. I didn't get the basic subjects like you guys did when you went to school. It was really weird, the class that they taught us. So I lost interest and started looking out the window. So I've been a daydreamer all my life. And look out that window when you daydream, and make sure you look out at God, honey, because he going to bring everything you daydream right back to you.
So you got here, you left Sunny back in Jackson.
Oh, I sure did.
Okay.
I did. You know, I left Jackson. I was homeless, Yazmin. I mean, college was over, no tuition. I was homeless. I was staying with them. I never lived in the street, but people let me live in their houses with them. I lived with this one lady until I saw a rat run through the kitchen because I was sleeping on a cot in the kitchen. I said, oh, Lord, I got to go now. Don't do rats. So I left there and went to another lady's house. But in this time, by that time, I done met Sonny, done fell madly in love. You know, when you're young and in love, you sure can do some dumb stuff. I was madly in love. But he broke my heart and I was homeless. So I called my sister and I said, Carlene, you got to get me out of here. She says, I'll send you a ticket. And that's the day I got on that bus, May 18. I arrived here May 18. The day that Mount St. Helen blew, I was on a bus heading to Tacoma that day. As a matter of fact, I was here. But Sonny did eventually move back out here with me. And that's when Carlos was conceived. And then back and forth, you know, in between, I became a religious person. Remember, you know, I'm just going to go and tell y'all who I used to be because I'm hearing more and more people say they used to be Jehovah's Witnesses. Sherry Shepherd used to be a Jehovah's Witness. You know, I heard that from her telling her story. And so it's a lot of us who were witnesses. I became a Jehovah's Witness for 11 years.
Wow. And
then I left and I left and I didn't have no friends, nobody but the friends that I worked with at Sears. And I eventually friended a lady and I said, you're the only friend I got. I hope you're good people. And she's been my friend for many, many moons now. But yes, I was a Jehovah's Witness. I left there. They kicked me out, you know, because I wasn't living right. You know, they don't like you when you ain't doing right. You can't hang with them because bad association can spoil useful habits. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the reasons. If you're doing bad, they like, you got to go, honey. You can't come in here and destroy the rest of the people. So they put you out. So that time I didn't go back. And Sonny came back and I married him and found out that he was very ill. Eventually he did pass away. I tell you the story in the book. You have to read the book to know about it. Mm-hmm. It's called From Cotton Picking to Dream Weaving. I tell you all my story. I tell you, when you read my story, you're going to say, nobody never say anything to me about my book or any of the stories. They just say, girl, you wrote a good book. Because in the book, I give you information that God has given me. And if you follow my footsteps, you're on your way to being a very blessed person. I give you all the secrets. And I also talk about God in my book because we cannot make it without God. Mm-hmm. We need him. Mm-hmm. We got to. So anyway, Sonny did pass away. He was a drug addict. He was a heroin addict, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. He was on heroin. And he was on that stuff from the age of 11 years old. Wow. Because he came up in New York. And back then, and just like it is today, these people are making bad choices because they don't have no other choice but to make a bad choice. Mm-hmm. So he ruined his life. Then I remarried another. and he ruined his life, but God is sparing him. He was an addict too. So I finally had to look at my story and say, what is going on? What, why? You know, because things happen for a reason. Why am I dealing with all of this?
Now, Doris, I want to go back a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about Carlos.
Oh, my baby.
Yes.
Yeah, my little sweet.
And there is a chapter in your book about Carlos that that's my favorite part of your book. I cried. I cried when I read that chapter. So tell us a little bit about your son.
Okay, Carlos is my son. He's special need. He was born with cerebral palsy. So, guys, I've been changing diapers for 40 years. I've been changing diapers. I've been feeding. I've been dressing. I do everything for
Doris. But tell us what it is the doctor told you when they find out that he had cerebral palsy.
Well, they told me that he was going to live only 8 years.
I know.
And I thought, oh my goodness. And you know, a lot of kids, they do die very young, special like that. But for some reason, God did not. He spared Carlos. And for all these years, I had to ask God, why? You know, what is the purpose of this? And eventually, as I began to grow, I saw that Carlos is part of ministry. He's part of changing lives. Because God told me, y'all do know God talked to you, right?
Yes.
Let's just get that straight so people would know that. God told me that, you know, you have the stories in the Bible where Jesus healed the cripple, right? Well, don't you know the same thing could be happening today? Jesus healed the cripple to show the power that God is a healer. So I realized that God gave Carlos to me for a reason. Carlos is going to be a healer for the world. And that is why he is living so long. He's healthier than I am. I'm just getting better. I've been sick for 4 months with a UTI. Wouldn't go away. And then they finally did all these tests. So people, I'm going to encourage you. Go to the doctor and find out about your body so it can be fixed and healed. Because God can't use you with a broke down body.
Yes.
He wants to move within us, but we got to get well. So Carlos, doing all this sickness, God has spared Carlos. He hadn't been sick or nothing. So I know there is a powerful thing going on with this young man. And when people meet him, they just melt. He's just got this aura about him that everybody just gravitates to. So I'm excited to have him in my life, although we don't know everything because, see, you know, when your kids are special, they ain't in school learning everything y'all learn. So I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball when it comes catching up with stuff. But that's all right. It's never too late. I do catch up. So don't come here thinking I don't know nothing. Because I know people that know people that know people. They know something. So yeah, Carlos is a beautiful gift. He's a gift from God, and I love him to the moon and back. And he's mine. And I just got guardianship over him, so nobody can take my baby away from me without a fight.
So now we're talking about Carlos. We went to John. And now let's talk a little bit about the radio. How it is that you end up in radio? How do you end up doing radio? I know you've been on TV too, doing a little bit of TV too. So
I have. Okay, I'm going to tell you. Back in 2012, somebody invited me to be a guest on her radio show because I had just started dreaming about this ministry I wanted to do. And the name of it was Divine Divas. Divine Divas Ministry. So one lady saw me posting that on Facebook, and I know her because I'm big in Mary Kay. Everywhere I go, y'all, I'm big now. Everybody know me. I'm popular around these world. Well, anyway, she was in Mary Kay on my team because I was a sales director, and she wanted me to come on her radio to talk about this ministry I got. Well, that's how radio began. I went on, I was a guest on her show. I told the world what I'm doing and where I'm going. And then the next thing I know, somebody sent me a message and say, they are looking for people to host radio shows, and Doris, you should check into it. So when I found out, it was the same studio that I had been to prior. So I went in that November and talked to the gentleman. But I want you to know, get this, guys, I had already written on my 61 miracles, believe it or not. The first miracle I wrote back in 2012, 2013, and I'm going to read it to you. I said I wanted to be on the radio and TV. Well, I wrote that in November 1st, November 19th, I'm in a studio preparing to go on the air. And then I waited to the first of the year, January 2013, before I went on. Because if you're going to do something at the end of the year, don't start there. Go to the following beginning of the new beginnings, okay? If that makes sense. Well, anyway, I started January 2013. I was on the air in the evening from 9:30 to 10:30 at night. And I was on that for about 7 months. And then I switched. There go that 7 again. I switched to daytime 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And that's been since 2013 as of to this day. And I was on KLAY 1180 a.m. in Lakewood for 6 years. Well, when I first switched to the daytime show, somehow I ended up reaching out to Yazmin. I ain't talked to Yazmin in years now. We both worked in Sears together.
Yes.
But I had to call her because there was a party or something going on with Sears people. I called her and she didn't know nothing about it. Well, we struck up a conversation and I was telling her, Yaz, I'm on radio now. I said, girl, you should come and host with me. And that's how we got started.
Yes.
Yazmin started with me on KLAY. She was a great co-host. We have so much fun.
Yes.
And I gave her the opportunity to come on and just speak her heart. I want you to know she has grown leaps and bounds from the day when she started radio. Now she's got her own show. Look at God. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
What was going on. All I did was listen to the voice of God. And look what he's done. Now he's got you with us, Carla and Yazmin, and both of y'all speak Spanish. Have you figured out what's going on up in here? Something big is getting ready to happen.
I have been listening, and I'm like, wow, it's amazing how we can lift each other.
Yes.
That's our job.
Yes, lift each other, and this is the way it should be. As females, as mothers, as sisters, as friends, as spouses, we need to lift each other. We need to really look into each other and see the beauty in the other person.
Yes.
And tell them, hey, you are able to do this because I can see it. I feel it, And because as we talked about it before, maybe that person hasn't realized that of themselves. They haven't done that self-assessment that we're talking about. And I think that this is true. There is a point in life where you have to sit back quietly and look at yourself in the mirror and really see where you are, why certain things have happened in your life, the way that have happened, and what do you want to do and move on forward, So, but when you have someone else that also see that on you and tells you, no, I can see that you are really skillful, you will be able to do this. It is very powerful.
It is. It is. And that is our jobs, okay? We were put on this earth. Every last one of us have something that we should be doing. But I'm going to tell you too, Carla, from that statement. See, people, believe it or not, God said the message is going to get around the world, right? The four corners of the earth. Literally, we thought maybe we would have to be, you often wonder, how would that be? How can we get something to the four corners of the earth? First of all, when you look at this internet, if people use that for a positive way, it is healing people. People don't realize that God has set this up. This is an information world today. We got to give out information. We have to tell stories.
Yes.
But how are you going to tell a story if you ain't around people? Well, God gave me this notion. Well, do it as a business, Doris. Go get other people to join you, and y'all all work in business, and then take the business out as a ministry. And change the world. People are going to listen to you. There are people out here in the world that needs to know about God, just like the ones in the church. So the churches is doing they do, but we got to do what we got to do. So this is what God has shown me. My job is to inspire you. That's why I brought Yazmin with me. That's why I brought 4 other women with me, and I put them all on the radio. But I put them on that radio so they can find what their gifts are and disperse. You ain't got to hang with me, just disperse. I give you the doorway to disperse. And that's what has happened with Yazmin. Now she's dreaming of business. Carla, I don't know what you're doing. I didn't say don't quit your day job, but find something that is going to bring you health and wealth and leave a legacy for your children. So they don't have to go work for somebody. Somebody gonna come be working with them.
And that's exactly and right now I'm thinking of what you're saying, because we have Christian sitting right here drinking coffee, I think, and he had a dream of this studio. And I remember how we got into the studio like a week or two after we left Clay, right? I walk in. Yes, I walk in. Something happened to my car, and I walk in, and he worked in this body shop, and I gave him my card. I said I'm a radio host, and he like, wait a minute, I had just started a project about radio.
He just started when you met him.
Yes,
he was just starting.
Yes,
look at God.
And thinking about it, that the things that me and him talk a lot is that this is his baby. And this is something that he is going to leave to his kids and to his kids' kids. And thinking God draw people that think the same way. Yes.
That's true. And I got to say, the radio, when you found VT Radio, yes, we had been 2 weeks.
Yes.
Remember the end of the year, I wasn't feeling well, and I let y'all host the last 2 shows at KLAY. They shut down just like that, told us all the radio is gone.
They sold it.
2 weeks later, 2 sevens, 14 days later, there is something powerful when it comes to that 7, when it comes to me. Yazmin comes up and said, Doris, we got a radio station. I said, girl, what? 14 days later, I'm sitting in another studio running my mouth. 14 days later. And that's been 3 years ago. And VT Radio is stronger than what it was when we first started. I didn't know they were just getting off the ground. Well, Christian, you ain't seen nothing yet. We getting ready to fly around the world with this VT Radio. Hang with me and we sure will do it. And I will get you some people to get on there and get to talking, because I'm going to tell you something. Our mouths is what God gave us to change this world, not to mess it up like what we're seeing today.
Yes. Whatever you speak materialize and become alive. So you have to speak. Yeah.
And people don't know this. That's why they speaking negative. And what are they getting? A house full of negative stuff.
Yeah, you create with what you put out in the universe, and that is materialized basically whatever. And it is also, I realized that what you think to is in just starts and the way you think about things, your thoughts, what do you think? That is very hard to kind of, how do you say, discipline your mind of not thinking negative. I mean, I just came from Panama, and my half of my family, couple of my family, they are just set up to think everything so negative. And I said, but wait a minute. And it's almost like it's engraved in them that they don't know how to start disciplining themselves to say, okay, this happened, but maybe this happened for this, and I can get something good about this, right? So I know we have a couple minutes, right? 5 minutes. So Doris, the book. I want to get into the book. So you decided to write this book. How long it took you to write this book?
You know, it took me about 4 years, just to give you an idea if you want to write. Because writing is, it can be quite interesting, a lot to do. You know, you can write so much till your brain get tired and you got to put it down. But once you start writing, one thing I know about writing, and as I was saying, the 61 miracles, I got to tell you that before I go. 61 miracles, November and December. I got Yazmin doing it. I got everybody that will do it. You write down 61 miracles. Remember, 6 plus 1 equals 7. What does the 7 means in God's eyes? Completion. So you're asking God for 61 miracles to help you complete. You can't do it without God. You need God with you. And this is what's going to change the world. And then you can write a book about what God has done for you. Put in the miracles what you want, the things you want to do. But don't just think of you only. Think of others. Create a story for the world. Tell God the things you want to do in those miracles, just like I did when I wrote down radio and TV. In 3 weeks, I'm on the radio after I write this down. So writing is very important. 61 miracles every year. I want you to grab you a pencil and a piece of paper and number it from 1 to 61 and just open your mind up and start jotting down things that you want God to do for you so you can do for others. It's all about giving today, people. It ain't about receiving, although my hand's open to receive. They open. But anyway, you got to give before you receive. Well, how are you going to give? Tell God what you want to give. And once you put it in the universe, it is yours. Don't ever let nobody waive your fate. What you write on this paper, right here. I even got a folder that says 61 miracles on it. You know, I do this. And listen, you go back and you look at the miracles and you mark them off. They happen.
Yes.
Now, how come we can't get the world to start doing this and start changing their mindset? So these are the things I want to do, Yazmin, in my business, you know, on my website, Divine Divas Ministry, .com. I will be doing one-on-ones. I got to get into the heads of these people. And once I speak to you one time, you are on your way to a new beginning. And that's what God wants us all to have. A beautiful new beginning with him right on the side of you.
Now, Doris, a little bit about your book. It's people want to get your book
on Amazon.
Amazon.
Amazon, go to Amazon. And this is a sequel. This is volume number 2 because volume number 1 was another title, but I just changed the cover. I would like to do it in Spanish. You know, I have the book written in Spanish. It's just got to be published. And I'm working on book number 2. Once I get this organization and this company up and running and wealthy, Then I will write the book on from cotton picking to breaking generational curses.
Wow.
Because God really wants to break the curses of this world.
Wow.
Hey, Doris, can you repeat the title of your first book?
The first one I wrote, it was called The Reason Why. But this one, the second one is, and the reason why is no longer available because when the publisher shut down and closed her business, my book was no longer available. So this, I redid it with a different title.
Oh, okay. What is the name? What cotton picking? From cotton?
This is From Cotton Picking to Dream Weaving.
Yes.
Hey, Christian, well, you can go over a little bit, play a show for me and Yazmin will talk on my show. Let's keep the show going. This Carla got to go. Me and Yazmin can chat. You want to hang, Yazmin?
That's fine. Yes, I'm here. But
we got a lot to talk about, girl.
Go, Carla.
We did talk quite a bit while we were waiting for Yazmin.
Yeah.
But before I go, ladies, I just want to say thank you so much, Doris, for being in here. And the energy that you have is so
exciting. Yes. And I thank you and I love you too, Carla. And I'm glad Yazmin hooked you up with me. But Yazmin, I invited Carla to go to the play with us.
Oh.
Yes, she did.
Oh, this Saturday.
The more the merrier.
Yes.
We want to meet the lady who did the play.
Yes.
She is a phenomenon. She's going to help us get productions going, honey. Look at God. He's just hooking it
all together. So, I mean, your energy is just amazing. It's very uplifting. And I think that's what we need more of. We need more of that energy to infuse other people with it, especially your friends and family, or loved ones. And instead of trying to look at the bad things of other people, let's look at the good things. Let's be more generous. Let's be more uplifting.
Well, let's go out and do it, Carla. We don't know how we're going to do it, but God is making ways for us to get in front of these people.
I think it's very easy. Every day, just sometimes it's better not to say nothing than to say
something negative.
Yes. Unnecessary. Who cares?
Yes.
Don't waste your time.
Yes.
Don't be wasting your time looking at stuff on Facebook that are negative, or they're talking about other people, or they're.
But you know what I like about Facebook? I'm the Facebook police. I ran all them crooks off of my wall. Girl, they don't talk about nothing but God on my wall. I threw them all off.
Concentrate in things that interest you. Concentrate in uplifting other people. Make sure when you open your mouth is to say
good stuff, because I can't stand nothing negative. It burns my ears, honey. Yeah, I keep running. I run when I see something negative.
And it can be overwhelming too. It just drain you.
Yeah, let's take care of each other and uplift each other and look forward to the future.
Carla, I'm glad that you and Yazmin are hanging together, because any friend of Yazmin, you're a friend of mine. Because we used to go to the Panamanian little ball.
Yes.
Our supporter.
Oh my God, wasn't that fun? And I love it. I love people. The more people of different nationality, the better. Because I wrote in my book, I told God, hook me up with the right people. I even told him, hook me up with some good white people, because we need them to go change the white folks. They need some changing, honey. And God's going to do it. He did everything I say, so don't y'all mess with me.
And when we said, we talked about it earlier, it was that we can be activists in our own levels, right?
Absolutely. I'm with y'all all the way.
Something like out of the ordinary.
I'm with y'all. Whatever you want to do, let's go do it. I want my input. And let me tell you, God says he going to bless us exponentially. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Did I get it right?
Yes.
Because sometimes I have a list and words don't come out right.
Well, I don't know. You asking the wrong person too, because we are second language English.
It sounded right to me.
Yeah, it did.
Well, at least that's a good thing. You got two languages. God said y'all need to be hanging with me.
Yes.
Child, we are on our way. Just believe that, okay?
I know.
Don't
yes.
try to figure it out. Just believe what Miss Doris just told you. And VT Radio Universal, you got these two Spanish-speaking women on there. They coming to see you, and I'm going to be right there with them. We getting ready to do some speaking events.
Yes.
So thank you, ladies, for today. And continue the conversation. Very interesting. Okay.
Love you, Carla.
Thank you, Carla.
Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
No.
Okay. Yazmin, let's keep going, girl.
So Doris, one of
Yes?
the things you was talking about the 61 miracles. One of the things that I went back one day and looked at the 61 miracles. Remember I told you? And there is like 4 or 5 of them that came through for me too. And I was like, wow.
See?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I have asked for so many things about this company and growth and everything. So this last one that I came up with for 2020, I do it for every year. This is 2021 and we're going into 2022. All right. So 2021, I wrote down 61 things. But Yazmin, this time my writing, I was just in there and things were just popping off of my head, but it wasn't for me. The things that was popping on my head and writing down is for the people that we are getting ready to educate. I'm telling you the things that I spoke on that paper as miracles. I says, oh my God. And I'll tell you another thing. They would also be good radio shows. The things I wrote down would be a good message to tell people on the radio. Each miracle, I will be speaking about those miracles that I wrote down for God to perform in my life. I will be speaking that subject on my radio show. So in other words, the things I will be saying will be healing for the people that will listen.
And we was created to be interconnected people, to interconnect, to be interrelational. That means that we are not islands. And I think one of the things that are missing right now is that we only think about ourselves. And I think it's kind of cool just to hear that you are making sure that when you leave this journey that we call life, you are leaving something into putting seeding into other people's life, that even when we long and gone, we can say this person impacted my life, this person did this. I have women in my life that they're no longer here, but I know, and I'm so grateful to God that they impacted my life, that God put them in my path for a reason. And that is the way we should be thinking. And I think that's the way you are thinking. You said, I want to start impacting and influencing other people's life, because that is why we was created. That is part of a mission as being a human being, is impacting each other's life and seeing how we can better each other's life. So you writing these 61 miracles and saying most of the things that I put there was to see how can I influence and impact other people's lives. That is cool. Great.
And you said you went and looked at it, and there are some, you had to mark some of them off. And I tell people it's for the whole year, but if you don't accomplish everything, carry them miracles over like the cell phone carry over your service or whatever. Take it over, because you got to write. Writing is so important, because if you don't write, Yazmin, people stay stagnant. I try to teach people to write. Write anything. Just keep your mind occupied. Meditate on your vision. What is it? Because all of this, God will move when you move. Ain't nobody moving.
And one of the things about writing is that for me, I think when I'm there's something that happens in your brain. There is something that when you write it, it almost like in the computer, it almost save it in that. Yes, it save it. It does save it when you write. That's what happened, and the Bible said that write the vision, write it. Writing, yes. So writing is for me. I'm getting more and more into writing, and I love it. And I go back and forth because of my English and my Spanish, but writing does something. It really almost download whatever you write, and it gets downloaded into your.
Now, I want to say something. Well, why is it that the Bible tells us to write? And God's people aren't doing it. Why? Because they use the Bible, they live according to the Bible, but yet when it's certain things that are very important, like it says to write your vision, that's God telling us right there. Mm-hmm. You got to write. Wonder why people are not writing down things.
And I think a lot of times it's because a lot of people don't think it works. I don't know. I have to think they don't think it works. But you cannot, it doesn't, you don't try, you're not going to know is it work, right?
Right. And this is the thing. Can I give you an example of some things? Me and you, we talk a lot. And I said, ooh, Yazmin, I wish I was on the radio while we talking, because there's some good stuff we talking.
Yes.
But anyway, like I was telling you the example of a family member. He said something about, my daughter got married, but she posted on Facebook that she was celibate for 12 years before she found her husband. He said, I don't think that was anybody's business. And I had to tell him, hold up. Oh, yes, the heck it is. I said, listen, that information she gave is knowledge for others. See, people don't realize they want to hold back information, and really they should be giving out the information. Go ahead.
I think our story, and you said something in the beginning of the show about telling stories. Our story, when we tell our story, it frees us from whatever we holding back. And it also helped other people, like you was just saying. So, but I think there is a lot of shame that our community think there's a lot of shame that there's certain things that you should not say because there is shame behind it. And I'm going to use a family member to very close to me. She was homeless for a minute with young babies. And I'm going to say my mom. And my mom doesn't like to talk about that chapter in her life. And I think because she believes there is shame in it, when it is a story that she can say, look where I'm at today. Look what I have today. Look what God did with me today. Look how I was there, but God bring me through that stuff, with my kids. So there is that shame that people carry and say, don't say that or don't talk, or you pick and choose what you want to tell. And it is personal stuff, but you need to know the people that you talking to and say, okay, I think they need this. I think this crowd or this person need this in order to realize that where they at right now, I've been there too, and I come through.
But you know what, Yazmin? These stories are a blessing. It is a form of giving. Jesus said there's more giving than it is in receiving. He didn't say what the heck to give.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's money. It ain't got nothing to do with no money. It's giving of yourself, your knowledge, your experience. And once you tell somebody, at least now they got information, they got a choice to choose. But if you ain't got no choice to choose, then you are up the creek without a paddle.
And one other thing is that the joy of telling story. I like telling story, and I listen to a lot of. I love it.
Well,
It also liberates you. It does. When
Well, we
you
are going to do that, Yazmin. Part of this ministry, we're going to be doing storytelling because stories is what's changing the world. And that is this is how God is healing his people through somebody else's story. So we got to get people to stop being so afraid to share their hardship because somebody else could be going through the same thing and they can look what happened to them. See, people are so selfish and they don't know how selfish they are. They want to withhold everything. I got another story. Because I correct people. I let them know. And I ain't rude about it either, honey. I'm like, honey, no, that's not good. You need to share that because God wants you to tell people. Okay, I got another relative. She's lost a lot of weight, and everybody said, "Girl, you okay? What's wrong with you?" Because she done got all over, And one lady said, "Are you okay? You ain't got cancer, do you? Ain't that crazy?" Yes. Somebody gonna say something to you because you are eating healthy now and tell you got cancer. See the mindset of these nuts? They're literally out of their cotton picking minds. But anyway, I said to her, she says, well, she got so frustrated, she started getting smart with people and not telling them she's eating right. I said, sweetheart, don't get sassy. Tell the people the truth. Yes. Maybe they gonna go and do what you do. Don't be withholding.
Yes.
This is what the world is doing, and a lot of church people are the one that's holding information. You get a lot of them, they don't want to tell nobody nothing. Or they'll tell it in the church, but they don't want to tell it to the world.
Yeah, and they need to get out of
the highways and the byways, honey. We got to go find them people out there that's lost.
And they need to get out of those four walls and help what's going on in the world. I think a lot of people are also afraid of judgmental too, that they feel like they will be judged. And a lot of times there are always going to be people that judge you. And there are always going to be people that criticize you. But they're
going to be judged all right in the end for the fact that they sat on their laurels and didn't do a dadgum thing, honey. I'd rather be judged now. What happened to you, Yazmin?
I'm here.
Oh, okay, my screen.
I know.
Christian I scared the computer. The screen got big on me. I don't see you no more. No, but as long as you're there, that's fine.
Christian is fixing something here. Look at you. Well, so pretty.
Hey, I like looking at myself. I think I look kind of cute with my little hair combed back.
Yes.
Well, I am letting it grow back out too, Yazmin, for a chance.
No, you look pretty with your little silver fox.
You know, that's what they do call me. But anyway, Yazmin, we're going to be doing a lot of things. Doors are opening, sweetheart. You know, like your sweet little girl, Jessie, she and I are going to be doing Zoom this week. So
you guys are already connected?
Oh, yeah, we are going to do Zooms, girl. I am ready to start talking to other people. I am getting ready to bring people on this radio and let people that's listening know what's going on in this world. And can't nobody say, Lord, I didn't know. Can't nobody say that, Yazmin.
Yeah.
Because if they're on this radio listening, this information that God has given us, you are related to Colin Powell, a little politician. Let's talk about that a bit, okay?
Oh my God, you gotta bring that.
Celebrities. We didn't know we know people that know people that know people.
Well,
you are related to Colin Powell.
Yes, and that I have known that for a while now because he was I believe his parents are from Jamaica and my grandmother was from Jamaica too, last name Powell. And then last name Powell. And in the islands that there was colonies for the British, all the people with the same last name are related. So yes, we are supposed to be related. And it is pretty cool. It is pretty cool, yes.
I know it, girl. That was surprising to me when I heard that. I'm like, well, look at God. Now there's more power behind her. And girl, we gonna go out and let people know these things too, girl, because ain't no need of keeping it no secret.
And one of the things that I went and checked, I told you I'm so happy that I did this. I did my ancestry lineage, genes, and as I know, and he has exactly the same things that we have. I was reading about him, and it was I'm 45% Nigerian. And then the West Africa, all that area from West Africa, have a little bit of that Ghana, but the biggest part is 45% Nigerian. And then I have the other rest is a little bit of Jewish, a little bit of Italian, Irish, and English. Isn't that like crazy, right?
Oh, girl, you are a Heinz 57.
Yes.
Come on now. You got a lot in you. I've never done that yet, but you know what?
You should. Everybody should, especially for the African descent people. It's crucial for us to know where are we rooted from. Where is the root?
Tell me what I need to do, and I will look into that, because I want you to know, my father, I never got to meet my dad's people. Mm-hmm. They had all perished before I was born.
Wow.
So my father held the last name of Hughes. Now, you know doggone well we are not originally who we are, because we were all slaves, mm-hmm. and we picked up the name. Well, for some reason, I got to thinking and talking to the Lord. Now, wait a minute. Was I related, or did my folks come from Howard Hughes?
Yes.
Because I went and Googled him, because I knew a little bit about his story, that he was a wealthy man, but I think he lost it a little bit. But I ain't losing nothing, because I'm giving all my money back.
Yeah.
But I saw that this man had 3 companies. How many companies do I have? 3. I didn't know that now, Yazmin. I'm just finding this stuff out now. I am walking in the footsteps of Howard Hughes. I believe somewhere down the line, my daddy's people came from that bloodline.
And you have to watch the movie. It's a very good movie with
I'm going to
Leonardo DiCaprio. Is very, very good movie. And he was rich, and they say he was eccentric, but I think more than anything, he didn't went with the current. He went against the grain. He was a person that he wasn't a follower. That's what I want to say. He wasn't a follower. He went against the grain. And that's why when people don't follow the crowd, they basically call you eccentric, or you a loner, or whatever. But it was that he didn't follow. He wasn't a follower. He was a leader.
Well, honey, I ain't no loner now. I need the people to get where I'm going.
And
so
you ain't
got to work on me doing that.
And he wanted to do a lot with his money. Actually, he wanted to help with his money. He did.
Well, I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
And of course, I got the last name Green, the color green. Oh Lord, I look out the window and I see the power of God's color green, mm-hmm. and that green ain't nothing but success. See, I want to educate people to know the difference, mm-hmm. and start using their mentality, and let's go out and turn that mentality into more to benefit others. There is your success, and there is also your legacy that you will leave behind for the next generation.
And I think one of the things that I was thinking right now, you're talking about colors and numbers. That God, I think I always used to say when we was on the show that God is a God of, He is a God of intention. He doesn't do anything. He's a three-dimensional God. And I said three-dimensional because we look at the colors, we look at the numbers. There is a meaning and a reason for everything. As we look at the numbers, everyone has their own meaning and reason, and this also brings energy to your life when you think of colors and numbers and all of those things. A lot of people just live life and don't think about those things. They just come, they go, they die, and don't really live life thinking about all these different things. And we creating a generation of people that are a financial slave. That means they only get up and work and think about working, and that's it.
That's because they've been taught. This is why the world is so jacked up. Everybody's been told the same thing. And now they just walking around like zombies. They don't even know that there's another side. Remember, there's always two sides to everything. So what I mean by that is that if you live in a certain way, and you know that way is not good for you, well, there is an opposite side that is better for you. Now, you as the individual has to figure this stuff out. But a lot of them are not figuring it out because they don't have information to ignite them to figure this stuff out. And this is why I am put in the position that I am in, and I committed. I swore. I promise, God, show me, go with me, and I promise you I'll do everything you want me to do. Well, don't you know he took me up on that word, girl? Sure did. Everything I say. If y'all need healing prayer or whatever, call me. Miss Doris will speak to you, and I ain't throwing no fire and brimstone either, girl. And I don't do no whole ritual of prayers, honey. When I get done talking to you, you're going to be a new being, and God's going to be walking right beside you. I give it away. And that's my job. And that part of the job, Yazmin, I love, because what it does is it sets fire under my feet. I love to make people feel good from the top of their heads to the bottom of their feet. I set fire to you, girl. And I got an example. I had somebody come over here the other day, because I work for the state. And I have to tell you that story. They came by my house, Yazmin. And this lady comes by here, and she's a woman of God, but she works with the state. By the time she left out of here, honey, she was throwing me kisses and everything. She's like, oh my God, I came here for one thing and I'm leaving all fired up. I said, girl, go think about what I told you. If you want to do something and take it further, you go pray about it and come back, and we gonna go do it. This is what I tell people, and girl, they just get so excited. She said, do you have any information? You got a card? You got a card? I said, yeah, here's the card, honey.
Oh my God.
Doors are getting ready to open. Remember on KLAY, I used to be complaining, Yazmin?
Yes.
I said, oh my goodness. I said, girl, I'm out here talking to these people and ain't nothing happening. I said, I'm about ready to quit. Yazmin said, but Doris, you are planting seeds.
Yes.
And this is what the world needs to know.
Yes.
You got to plant before you grow.
Yes.
It's like a garden or whatever. God works in the same way with everything. You got to plant it. Sometimes the Bible talks about the bird come and pick it up and destroy it.
Yes.
And you do run into that, girl, because when you're on a journey like we are, you're going to run into birds that's going to come pick up stuff and cause problems in your life. But what I tell people is deal with the situation. Don't even stress about it, because you got somebody that's with you, that's taking good care of you. There's no need of you stressing when you're walking on faith. Faith and stress don't go together. So that's why I'm very energetic, and I'm energetic because I'm feeling better. I have been under the weather, girl. The devil really did try to sit me down, Yazmin, with these infections. I didn't know how bad these infections were. All I just didn't understand is, why won't they go away? And then I had to keep going, and my diabetes is in check. Oh my God, my A1C is 7.9 for the last 10 years. It's been an 11. Never could Oh, is he
What?
ready to get off?
No, no, no. We and I'm thinking with the infections, you have to be careful because they can go into your bloodstream and it's dangerous.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
They can kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I am honored that God has healed my body. Now, this is why I'm telling you, go get yourself checked out. God wants to heal all of us.
You know, and everybody has their own way of worshiping and their own, like you said, everybody has their lane. Remember, we used to talk on the radio about we have our lane. And I was thinking about me being here in the United States for 33 years, Doris, and I don't go to church anymore like I used to. I used to go to church a lot, and that should be another show. Because we went to church together for a little bit, and that didn't work out. Right?
No, because they tried to rule us.
Yes, it didn't work out.
I have to get up there and do a skit and tell us these are things we don't want going on up in here. I said, well, bye. I'm out of here. Because ain't nobody going to tell Miss Doris what to do. Only God tells me what to do.
So
and you can't be controlling these people. Let these people serve the way they want to.
Yes, let God do
His
job.
Treat people right, doing the best you can, keep on keeping on, loving everybody with the real love of Jesus, then God's going to bless you for that. Don't worry about what's going on in your vicinity. As long as you're doing right by people, nobody else got no business what's going on in your life.
And I was thinking about that. I said, I may not go to church every day, and I don't read my Bible every day, but I'm grateful to God. I don't think I would be here on my own for 30-something years. And I think about people that they are born and raised in this country. They are American. I'm a naturalized American, but I'm not born here. People homeless that are in the streets right now. People that don't have where to live. They don't have where to eat.
Isn't that sad?
And I'm grateful. I'm grateful because I have never experienced that since I've been here. And I know that is God, that He has protected me, He has provided for me. And even in the adversity in your life is just to teach you how to grow. Even in the hard times is for you to grow, you know, and in the changes that you go through, it is for you to grow. But when I look at my life and where I came from, I am super blessed. This is super blessed, you know.
And yes, and also with this super blessing that you got, now don't you feel that it is time for you to go tell others so they can get the same super blessing that you got?
Yes.
That's why God has blessed so many of us. So we can go help others, but people aren't doing it. They just reaping the rewards and not giving back. We supposed to give back. I don't care what it is you give. I didn't say money. Your mouth is giving back.
Yes.
You're educating. It ain't your place. You know what drives me crazy? This is what some people, especially a lot of religious people, oh, they ain't gonna listen to me. These people ain't gonna listen. Now, how in the heck do you know what people are listening to when God is the only one that's going to move what comes out of your mouth to move that person? You're wrong to speak like that. And I want the world to know. Stop saying people ain't going to listen to you. Are you God? You already know this, huh? When did you die on the cross and become Jesus to know these answers?
And
I got a woman one time, she was telling me about Tina Turner. You know, she said, Doris, Tina Turner is a Buddhist. You shouldn't be, you in the ministry. I says, honey, when did you die on the cross and become Jesus for me? Girl, she been licking out of my hand ever since. But mind your business. Stay in your lane, people.
When I think about that, I think about what are you saying? And people that are in the church are so judgmental. I mean, I think about getting out of your walls, and I think one of I'm gonna talk bad about the church is to control and manipulate people, not to have them to think freely, and one of the control parts of it is having you think that if I do it different, then I'm not part of it, because you doing it different is you not part of it. And I love to read. I love to read. And you give me between praying and reading the Bible, I would pick reading the Bible. And you might love praying and not reading the Bible. And that is okay.
Yeah, I'm a prayer warrior. I'm a warrior with anything I want. God says I can have anything I want. Yes. I said, Lord, you mean to tell me that I can have anything I want? And don't you know the Spirit says yes? And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm giving.
Yes.
The operative word is give. Stop receiving, just give. Give. I was at a store the other day and this girl said they repossessed my car, Doris. My car got, but she said, let me tell you what God did. Somebody paid $2,500 and got my car back to me. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. You see somebody in need, you give. Yes. You ain't got to know them. Help them. Yes. Because God is going to turn back. Woo! When them blessings roll, honey, they gonna fall in your lap and you just gonna be excited. And once that excitement hits you, that's when it motivates you to walk with God. See, God wants people to walk with Him.
And I think we want, even in the church, we want instant gratification. That means that when you said, people said that if I talk, they don't listen. Your job is just to talk. You don't have to see the change. And I think people want to see. We are just to
messengers.
We are just to put that seed in. Whosoever have to water it and whosoever have to see it grow, or the fruit is not our job. Just seed, just plant that seed into that person and let God do the rest. But we want to see that gratification and seeing the person change or see what happened. No, just plant that seed and God will do the rest.
And you know what else it does when you plant that seed and God shows up and do something after you done walked 100 miles away? They ain't gonna never see you again. What that does is that's going to build that person's faith. They done got on to God now, honey. And once you get a bite of him, honey, you ain't going nowhere. You're going to be biting him more. I want some more of this, more. Yes. And then he will begin to show you when you start writing. But some of these people don't want to write because they lazy, honey. They don't want to do nothing. I got somebody I always call you telling you, drive me crazy. Now, let me tell you something, people. Charity begins at home. And a prophet is never respected in their own home. Jesus said that.
Yes, he did.
Charity begins at home. Before I can go out here and fix this world, I got family that needs fixing. And it's frustrating to try to teach people another way and they won't listen. It's like, oh my God, what is the matter with these people? When you're bringing something simple, that's good, that will change their lives around. Something as simple as start getting you a calendar and writing down dates on there of things that you need to do. I got this one person, she won't do it. I've encouraged her to do that. And every time she turn around, what day is it? What day is it? I'm like, good God Almighty. Damn, you're driving me crazy, girl. Get you a calendar and put dates on. And you know, she be forgetting to pick up her kids. Don't know what time they getting out of school. I'm like, well, girl, write this. I got so much going on. I'm like, honey, you know what? I texted her yesterday and I said, baby, you stress me out. I just got to feeling better from this sickness, and she stresses me out. I wrote her. I says, God is healing you. I just keep throwing God on us. God's healing you. He's healing you. She needs healing because she thinks that she's fine. I don't need to write nothing down. Well, you ain't gonna drive me crazy, chaotic in my brain, calling, asking, and tell me what day is it? What day is it? What day is it? Girl,
But
my God, that's stress, Yazmin.
but Doris, I know who you're talking about, and maybe God is, it's because you told me, she said you are the only family that I have, and you guys are family. So I'm thinking we have two opposite, right? You are very disciplined. You got your calendar. You have all your ish right down. What you got to do when you got to do it. And maybe just you guys having this little connection right now where you guys are connecting. She is learning from you. I think, even when she drives you crazy, I think it's just God, you helping her by just by just she's seeing how disciplined you are.
Yeah, because we are examples. People should be watching us and following in our footsteps.
And one of the things that you said when we was talking is that the people that we have in our circle influence us. So she might need you right now in her circle so you can influence and impact her life. And you might not see the results right away, but you never know. You never know, right? You are planting seeds right now with her. Even though she frustrates you because you want to see it happening. Like we are talking, you want to see it happen right now. Girl, just change.
Well, you know what I told her, Yazmin? And this is a good thing. I'm glad you mentioned this because change means you got to stop. Just come to a complete stop and say, I ain't gonna do that no more. This is how you change. Now, if you stop and don't do it anymore, habits are hard to break. It'll happen again. You'll fall back a little bit, but then you catch yourself and say,
you go back. Yes.
You gotta do this to your brain to change. I'm giving y'all good information out there. VT Radio and Facebook land. And then I'm going to take this video and I'm going to share it all over my walls. And I pray that these people are listening because God wants to use all of us. But we got to be healthy in our minds.
Doris, and the people that this is for, they're going to listen to it and take it in.
Amen.
The Bible talks about if God had to do and send his son again to do the sacrifice that Jesus Christ did, to go on the cross and die for us, for one soul, then he would do it for one soul. So we might be sitting here and want a thousand likes or 1,000 people looking, but it just take one person that today needed to hear this message. That is going to happen. It's one person that needed this.
Absolutely.
So yes, right?
And that one person will take off like wildfire. That's the process, the way God is working with his people. But his people are not open. They got him in a little box. Get him out of that box. He's too big. He's too big. And he will show the world his powers, just like you and me are working with his powers. He's in us. And we ain't walking around here all sanctimonious, packing a Bible, hooping and hollering. All of that is unnecessary. Hallelujah. Ain't nothing wrong with hallelujah now. But all that hooping and hollering and jumping and screaming in a building, just feeling good. Go out there and jump in front of these people that's homeless and tell them
that's
that God
exactly
wants
right.
to heal you. Go get yourself well. And then I got There's $1 million waiting on you when
Yes.
you get yourself
And
straight.
one of the notions with homelessness, and it is a big thing. I mean, and I know we've been talking about it even before the pandemic. It was big, and today is even worse because of the pandemic. But there is this notion that people think that people are on the streets because they want to, and most of the people that are on the street because they're doing drugs, and that is not true. Everybody, and I know you remember I said everybody has a story.
Yep.
Just like today, you telling your story, I have a story, and you have a story that is unique to you. So those people that are in the street, sometimes I drive and look at them and I said, you never know that when they was young or small, that they think they would end up in the streets. It could be this person could be used to be a president of a company. Could it be a person that has their own business? So we don't know. And we have to start creating this feeling of empathy for other people. Yes. Empathy for other people, because if it happened to them, it can very well to you or or somebody in your family.
Absolutely.
So we cannot be judgmental and think that everybody that is out there is because they want to or because they're doing drugs. I mean, I just don't understand why.
Well,
and we have a lot of religious people that think that way.
Well, we saw religious people out there selling water for $1.
Yeah, I remember.
That's how they saving the souls.
Yeah.
Selling Gatorade for $1.
Yeah, I remember when we used to.
You know, doggone well, that is not, honey, when God opened up these doors, we getting ready, I don't know what we getting ready to do, girl. We might have bullhorns out there trying to get these people to wake up, just to educate them, because education is the key. And these people now got to know that somebody cares for them. You got to have love for these people. And Jesus loved everybody.
And the Bible, not the Bible, the church have become a corporation. That's the truth. It's become a corporation, and it runs like a corporation that doesn't pay taxes. And they have created a way of running the church that really they don't want people to think outside of what they teach, because as people think outside of what they teach, they will not be packing up those churches. They won't be going into those churches because they realize that they have to go outside of those four walls.
Churches on the outside, honey, they got to be out here in these streets.
And if you look at Jesus, he was not in a building.
Nope.
No, he went from city to city.
Amen. And that's what we get ready to do too, girlfriend.
Yeah, he didn't went into those, created a big old mega church. I mean, and is that work for you? Works for you. But I'm just saying, you gotta get out of those four walls. You gotta do it outside of the walls. And then I'm gonna let you talk. But I watched this guy. His name is Brian Stevenson. I love him. I've been watching him. He's a lawyer, and he teaches a lot about the proximity. They taught about proximity. He said you cannot serve a community, you cannot serve a person if you're not creating that connection with that. He's a lawyer. He's big in that road. He has some books. He's all over in TED Talk talking about, and he got a lot of that road people that was in there and people that was in prison out. But he said, I can be a lawyer and just be a lawyer and not inject myself into that person's life to know what happened, to connect with that person, with their family and their community in order to help them. And he talks a lot about proximity. We need to start doing that, not just serving people from the distance. We have to get closer to them in order to understand where they're coming from, what happened. You know, I mean, people need to watch this because I think the church, you cannot have a pastor that serve in a community but live outside of the community. You know, and we have a lot of pastors that do that. They have these big church in the poor communities, but they live in the affluent, you know,
So in other
neighborhood.
words, they are not connecting with their community.
The same thing I think with the police. You shouldn't have a police that is policing Tacoma but live in further away. He should be living here in this community. So I think the same with the church. You have to know the people that you serve and the community that you serve. You have to know that. Yeah, go ahead, Doris.
That's a good point, Yazmin, what you just said about community. See, people need to start, I don't know how we're going to get people to start seeing the messages that we are speaking, because you are speaking truth as well. People do need to be connected with their community. And this is what's going to make community better. This is another way of division. The world is divided. And the only way we're going to be able to bring it together, that point you said about community, with the pastor living way over there in a big old mansion somewhere. And boy, I'm going to tell you, they got some nice houses, especially the mega ones. But, and then the poor people over there, sitting over there, and ain't nobody telling them to become successful.
Yes.
Educate yourself.
They don't want to.
Go out and tell
They
the
don't
people.
want to.
Well, they messed up, child.
Doris,
Then they want me to change my name.
the
Can I talk about my, what?
The church don't want people to think that way.
Well, that's too bad. Well, Miss Doris is getting ready to go out there and overpower them.
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm going to overpower that. You know, people look at my name, Divine Diva. You know, remember when we were in the church didn't like the idea that I wanted to do something to be a part of their little thing going on.
Yes, I remember.
And remember the pastor said for me to do somebody else's business instead of my company's business. I said, ain't no daggum way I'm putting no money into your event to talk about some dadgum white woman's business when I got my own.
Yes.
Only because they didn't appreciate that name. Shame on these people. They are going to end up, honey, seeing one day they're going to be running to Divine Divas Ministries, LLC. Because I got the goods, honey. I'm changing the world. And I'm doing a hell of a lot better than what they doing. Because I'm getting these people out here working. They got to use them gifts, honey. God put us on this earth. We all have gifts. And the gifts is what's going to change the people. Yes. We got to give our gifts back.
Yes, we do.
Not going up in there hoping and hollering. I just can't hardly stand it. I have to turn it off. I can't stand that noise. Lord have mercy. I done found the truth, honey. I can't deal with
Oh my God.
I can't deal with it, guys. I said, oh, Lord, I can be on Facebook and listening to something. I said, all that hollering. I said, oh, turn it off. I can't stand all that screaming and hollering.
Yes.
Half the time I can't hear what they saying. They screaming. So, but anyway, girl, you know, we had a good show today.
I know, even though it started a little rocky, but yes, this is good. And you know, we have so in some parts of our lives it's so parallel, you know, like going to working at Sears in the same department. 10 years later, I got the same job that you got when I got here. Remember?
You worked in receiving?
No, I work in my first job at Sears was in the drapery department. Remember?
Draperies and linen. That's where that woman put me.
Yes.
And boy, oh boy, when she put me in that department, girl, I didn't realize that I had good taste. I can match colors. Girl, I was selling that stuff. I am very good at sales.
Yes.
That's why God sent me here, put me in front of different people to get connected. Now that I realize my purpose in life, I'm going to go back, and everybody I know, I'm building an army, Yazmin. I have a lady tell me that there is an army of angels waiting for me to disperse, and they are ready to come with me. I said, oh my God, I'm moving as fast as I can. I done got your little girl, your friend's daughter. She's going to help me.
Good.
I'm going to start putting more people on the radio, and they're going to start telling these listeners more about them, because people can't grow when they don't know. Hello?
Yes.
They
But
need to know.
I don't think we have a lot of time, even though this is your show, right? Technically, this is yours.
Yes, I gave you my time, because you know, once I get on the roll, I don't like to stop.
So what it is you would like to tell people today, what do you would leave them thinking about today? And I'm gonna throw my little thing in there. Business. I'm thinking of a business. When you said business, that the church doesn't want and doesn't teach people how to really use their
gifts and talents.
Yes, outside of church. So maybe you want to talk a little bit of that before we close?
Yes. It is very important. This is what God showed me, okay? I just want the world to know that God is very powerful. And if he's powerful to me, he also wants to give them the same power. But you got to have a heart to give, not money, yourself, knowledge, and a business. Because if you want to go out and help somebody, do you think, Yazmin, you would just go out there with nothing to offer and just go out and talk to people? That's not going to last. You're going to burn out. But if you had an opportunity, something to make them feel better, look better, you know, I am in lots of different businesses, and I joined these businesses because if you're going to work with me in the ministry, you need something to take to these people, and then God will do the rest by healing them. People need to be healed before God can show up. And that means their bodies, some of them are overweight, their bodies are sick. Everybody needs to slim down and start watching the things they put in their bodies. And once they clear their bodies, their minds will become clearer. And now God can sink in there and start doing something with your mind. These 61 miracles are the beginning of your new life. A new life. Write what you want and what you want to do for the people in the world. Think of your family, put them on there. But don't just ain't all about you. Think about what can you give other people that's in you, your gifts. And I'm here to tell you, and I will stand on a stack of Bibles, or God can strike me down right now. And I know he ain't, because what I'm speaking is true. And Jesus said, truth set you free. Now look, you follow my guidelines. I hate to say it because people might want to come after me, but don't you come after me. You better not come after me. I am a wealthy woman in the eyes of God, and I'm wealthy because God did it for me. And if he's doing it for me, he will do it for you. You got to get my book. I give you the formula, the success. I tell you how it happened right here in this book. God told me to tell you. He wants to heal us, mind, body, and soul. And once you're healed, now you can be used to spread abroad and spread love, because that's what you're taking to the people. Love, a business, and products of whatever these businesses are that's going to affect these people. And then God will do the rest. And he will also use you as that business person to speak whatever it is that you should be speaking. He will take over and speak for you. That's what he wants to do for all his people. And my job is to educate you and let you know. Come with me in this ministry. I have a school. Everybody needs to be taught. You know, my nephew was here last night and he said, well, how you going to teach somebody and you ain't got nobody to teach? I said, baby, don't worry about that. You build and they will come.
Mhm.
See, people always want to put the cart before the horse. They see, I don't see how that. No, don't worry about what you don't see.
You don't have to
didn't
see it.
nothing. But I'm telling you, I had a vision and God just dangled it in front of me like a carrot. Like, girl, I saw all of this 9 years ago and now I'm walking in it.
Mhm.
So time takes time. That's my last word. Time takes time. Give God the time to do what he needs to do. He does have a lot of people in this world that he's dealing with. So be patient and dream killer big. Dream big. I mean big, because he loves the big dreamer. Because you ain't going to get it unless you got him walking with you. So I'm ready to start working and put millions in everybody's pocket that want to hang with me. Because therefore, I am a billionaire and I'm going to make all y'all millionaires when you hear what I'm doing.
And
Once you come under this umbrella.
And Doris, thank you for being on my show, Siembra. And thank you for having me on your show, New Beginnings.
Yes.
And we will talk later.
You are carrying on the New Beginnings legacy. Thank you so much.
Thank
and I'm
you.
glad that I'm honored to be a guest on your show. We are moving and shaking, baby. That ain't nobody but God. God
Yes.
bless you.
Thank you. Love you.
I love y'all. And next week I'll be back and I'm going to bring you somebody else to hear because it's time to put some knowledge in God's people. That's all I'm doing.
Okay, Doris.
All right, bye, Kristen. Bye, everybody. God bless you. I love you all. Thank you, guys.
Bye, Doris. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye. That was a long talk.
Get down.